Good morning, beautiful people. Hope you're having a great day so far. I know I am. I had a Friendsgiving last night, and I fucked that shit up. I'm talking, I was going crazy. I've been in this deficit for about a month and a half now. I am down like almost 30 pounds. Oh, that's so much. I was 230, so it's not a lot when you think about it in percentage terms. And that's always what I say when you're doing anything in terms of weight loss or weight gain. Don't think about it in pounds, because pounds are so relative. You know, context is everything. I always preach context. So for me, losing 20 pounds, like for a lot of people, they hear, oh my God, 20 pounds, that's a lot. Or 30 pounds, that's a lot. Because yeah, when you're 150 pounds, or if you're a woman, especially if you're like 120 pounds, and you hear, holy shit, 20 pounds down, holy shit, 30 pounds down, like, yeah, that's a fucking quarter of your body weight. So you need to make it relative. So for me, losing 30 pounds, like for you losing 30 pounds, for me, that's like losing 50. So yeah, that's a lot of fucking weight. So you need to just think about it in percentages. It's like, okay, I've lost a little bit less than 30 pounds. I've lost about 25 pounds. And that's not even 10% of my body weight. So for a 150 pound person, that would be like losing 12 pounds, roughly. So it's not it is a lot of weight, but it's not a crazy amount. And I do hold a ton of water, so that's a big thing. And anyways, Friendsgiving yesterday, I went crazy, crazier than I should have. I still struggle with binging sometimes, but that's a topic for another day. But that's what I want to talk about today, is the holidays and how to avoid a term that I like to call the holiday fuck-its. Everyone experiences this. It's the holidays. Fuck it. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to eat everything that's there. I'm going to just fill myself up. And I'm gonna eat seconds and thirds, and I'm gonna get drunk as shit. And then you check the scale the next morning and you're up 15 pounds. Now, is this all fat? No, that's impossible. But it's going to be some fat. It's going to be mostly water, some glycogen. You're gonna be holding on to some food waste. You're probably slowing your gastric emptying. But for the most part, it's not all fat. That's the one thing. Psychologically, you need to get that out of your head, that every single increase or decrease, any change in the scale is not going to always be fat. So that's the first thing, is you need to grapple with that psychologically, is that accept the fact that it is okay to enjoy yourself on the holidays. But it's not okay to say, oh, it's the holidays, I'm just gonna fuck it and eat everything in sight. There's no reason that 2 days out of these next 2 months, so you have November, you have Thanksgiving, and then December you have Christmas. There's no reason that 2 days, 2 out of 60 days, should throw you completely off of your deficit and off of your fitness goals. The problem is always the leftovers with Thanksgiving, and normally it's everything around Christmas too. It's not just Christmas Day. It's, oh, I'm going to have some tamales on this day, and then some cookies and a pie. And Thanksgiving leftovers last 3.5 weeks. So you're eating fucking turkey and green bean casserole and mac and cheese for 2.5 weeks. That's where the issues arise, and that's where people end up gaining 10, 20 pounds. Now, on average in the literature, it's not really a lot of weight gain that happens during the holidays, but it is sticky, and that's the problem, is that normally the gain happens and it's not ever lost. So we need to come up with sort of a game plan to still enjoy yourselves. I'm not saying, I will never, ever, ever advocate for being the fucking guy with a food scale at Thanksgiving or at Christmas. Don't fucking do that. It's 2 days of the year. Like, if we're talking percentage terms, it's like less than 1% of the fucking year. So, like, yeah, you can have your days where you go a little crazy, and that's okay, because we're talking about doing this flexibly. Like, you're not prepping for the Olympia. If you're prepping for the Olympia, I don't know why. I mean, I'm glad that you're watching my videos, but this is not that's not who this is for. This is for Gen Pop. This is for people who are trying to get in shape. So what you need to do is kind of think of a game plan before these days. The first thing is fuck leftovers. You're not taking any. You're not taking a plate with you home. Just get that out of your head. You are not taking a plate home with you. And if you really, really, really want to, go for it. If you can fit it into your macros somehow, I'm not saying that you absolutely can't do it. It's just know yourself and know how good you are with those temptations, right? Like, I know if I'm a slut for some buttermilk pie, man. Give me some buttermilk pie, and I know that there's gonna be some at Thanksgiving. I know that there's gonna be mac and cheese and green bean casserole and corn casserole and all of this. All this shit that I fucking love, and I will eat an entire pan to myself with. If you just give me a dark room and 30 minutes, I will crush that shit. So I think beforehand, I'm not taking anything home. It's gonna be a lot easier this year because I don't live in the same town as my parents anymore. So I'm not taking it with me on the plane. But it's gonna be a lot easier this year too because I'm going at it with a game plan. So the first thing is get it out of your head that you're gonna be eating leftovers for the next week. You're gonna be eating Thanksgiving foods on Thanksgiving. And if you do want leftovers, and if you do have leftovers, that's fine, but you're going to be tracking them those next couple of days. And you do have to just know that it's going to be harder to track them. And depending on how aggressive your deficit is, you might not be able to have that much. And again, know yourself and know that if the temptation is going to be too large, if you take a piece of pumpkin pie home with you, or if you take 3 or 4, and you know that you're just going to be housing that whole thing, just don't do it. You have to know yourself, and you need to be honest with yourself, and that's a hard thing to do. So that's the first thing, is get the idea of eating leftovers for 18 years out of your head. And then next thing is come up with your non-negotiables, is what I like to call them. The things that, like, you're gonna fuck up. You're gonna eat that shit when you get there, right? So for me, it's the things that I just listed. Green bean casserole, I know I'm gonna fuck that shit up. Buttermilk pie, corn casserole, yeah, those are the things. Mac and cheese. And then obviously I'll have some turkey, smashed potatoes, some gravy. But, like, if there's anything else, I don't know if they're doing candied yams this year, but if they do, I'm just doing a little bit. So come up with your non-negotiables, the things that are there every single year that you are looking forward to eating every single time. And those are the ones that you're like, yeah, I'm gonna have those. And then the rest of them, do you really need it? And you don't need to have a little bit of everything on Thanksgiving. Just go with the things that you really, really, really like. Because 9 times out of 10, when you go with things that are you don't want to waste a ton of calories on something that's just kind of And that happens a lot of the time. So come up with your non-negotiables, come up with the things that you will eat and you love, and just know, okay, these are going to be on my plate. And then another strategy is go with smaller portions than you want. Especially if you've been in a deficit and you're like, holy fucking shit. It's like you don't want to essentially you don't want to be at a point where you've been restricting, it's like, think of it like a dam, right? Where like just a little bit of water is coming out, and that's like the food that you're eating. And then all of a sudden the dam breaks and just floods with calories into your system. That is not what we want to do. Do just small portions, right? You can always go back for seconds if you want and if you truly need them. But if you've been in a deficit for an extended period of time, your eyes are going to be 10 times bigger than your stomach. 100%. Your eyes are going to be 10 times bigger than your stomach. You're going to see all this food and you're just going to load your fucking plate up. So do just smaller portions than what you think you actually want, because we know time and time again, literature shows us that if you have more food on your plate, you're going to eat more food, just point blank. So don't be stacking up everything up to the top like you want to be. Again, like, people will hear me say this and they're like, oh, it's the holidays, like I don't really want to think about it. And it's like, yeah, that's because that's what you've been doing. And where did that get you? Fat. That's just, I have to be frank, that's where it got you, is fat. So you need to attack this with a different strategy than you normally will, and I guarantee you will feel 10 times better. So come up with your non-negotiables, do smaller portions of them than you normally would, and eat slower. Eat slower. This is the biggest thing. I always preach this because time and time and time again, every single study looking at satiety, we see that basically and if you look at my satiety playbook and the video that I have on it, basically everything just comes down to chewing and to eating slower. That's why crunchy foods are more satiating. Same with chewy foods, because you chew them more. They're in your mouth longer. They slow your rate of eating. Anything that slows down the rate of eating is going to decrease the amount that you eat and also going to increase the satiety, the fullness that you feel. So slow yourself down. Put the fork down between each bite. Take a sip of water. So you have those three things. You're going to be eating slower. You're going to be doing smaller portions. Grab a smaller plate. Obviously, most of the time they're going to be all the same plates. But if there is a smaller plate, grab the smaller one, because that has been shown sometimes to decrease the amount of food that you eat. But another thing is the order of the foods that you eat. Start with things that are higher in fiber and things that are higher in protein. Eat the turkey first. Eat the ham first, right? Because you want to be filling yourself up. Don't be thinking about it from the side of, I'm going to eat the things that I like the most first, because the things you like the most first are probably not the most filling, to be honest. You know, if I'm thinking about the things that I like the most first, maybe, yeah, the green bean casserole, it's going to be pretty filling. It's a lot of fiber. It's a lot of green beans. And green bean casserole is honestly not a ton of calories, especially compared to a lot of the things that people eat on Thanksgiving. So, but I'm going to be eating the mashed potatoes and the turkey first and the ham. And then I'll move on to some of the other things. Don't fill yourself up on the hors d'oeuvres either, okay? I know that a lot of the appetizers, the snacks that happen beforehand, right? I know that a lot of times when you go to a Thanksgiving meal, there's a ton of food before the meal. So you end up eating a shit ton. You end up eating like 500 to 800 calories before you've even gone on to your actual Thanksgiving meal. And it's very easy. Like, the average Thanksgiving meal is over 3,000 calories. And that's on average. Like, that's including little cousin Timmy, who's 100 pounds and got like 3 pieces of turkey and half fucking thing of cranberry sauce, right? So the average adult is probably eating 4,000 to 5,000 calories on Thanksgiving. And that's just in the dinner. And I know that most people aren't really eating much throughout the day, but that leads me to my other point. What do you do the rest of the day? When do you eat your Thanksgiving meal? That's another question. Because if you eat Thanksgiving for dinner, then do a little bit of game planning beforehand. One thing that I like to do is fast. Now, there's nothing special about fasting. I hate that when people preach fasting is, oh, it's this like miracle. No, it's just a tool to help you to eat less. Like, obviously, if I tell you that instead of eating it during your normal 14 hours that you're awake and you can eat during all of this time, yeah, you're going to eat more because you have more time to eat. But if I restrict you to 6 hours of eating, yeah, you're going to be pretty fucking full. Like, you have to digest and get full again during those 6 hours, whatever. Fasting is a different rant for a different day. But it is an effective tool in some cases. So maybe fast up until, because my family does it at like lunch. We do it at like 1 or 2. So I'll fast, and then right beforehand, maybe an hour or two before, I'll have something super high in protein. So for me, this is normally like some chicken breast or some lean steak, like maybe a protein shake, maybe my egg white pancakes that I just fuck them bitches up. God, I love those things. The recipe, I've posted the recipe a million times. But yeah, so have something that's super high in protein, super low in fat, and low calories. So you're already kind of going into it a little bit full. And then that's when you'll have it. So especially if you're doing it at a dinner, fast up until like 12, maybe. If you absolutely need a breakfast, just same strategy. Do a lean protein, basically no carbs, and basically no fat, because that's all you're going to be eating for the rest of the day. And do that same thing for lunch. So maybe you're doing a fat ass chicken salad for lunch, and maybe breakfast was like some eggs and some egg whites. Maybe 2 eggs, a bunch of egg whites, something along those lines, and maybe the egg white pancakes. Anyways, So this is your game plan for leading into the dinner. We have the game plan for the dinner. So just to recap, right? Before Thanksgiving meal, you're gonna eat some lean, high protein, low carb, low fat foods. When you're going into it, you're already strategized. You have your non-negotiables. You know the foods that you are going to put on your plate. When you get there, you're gonna put smaller portions of them on your plate. And then when you go down to eat, you're gonna eat the leanest, or sorry, not the leanest. You're gonna eat the protein first and the things that are higher in fiber first. And then you're gonna go on to everything else. And you're going to slow the fuck down. You're gonna take a sip of water between each bite. Another thing, you should be doing this anyways, but you should chug a bunch of water right before you go to the meal. So as you load up your plate, chug a whole big ass glass of water, fill that bitch back up, and then that's where you're taking a sip, you're putting down the utensils, you're talking with your family, you're conversating. I know it's crazy, you're gonna be interacting with people. And that's your strategy going into it, so that you feel super full. Ideally, you're not going back for a second plate. So if you get to the point where you fill up your plate and there's still foods that you want, you've gone too big with your portions. Just simple as that. Because I guarantee you, if you use these strategies, you're not going to have it in you to go for a second plate, especially because you want dessert still. There's pecan pie, man. There's buttermilk pie. There's fucking sweet potato pie. There's pumpkin pie. There's all the pies in the world. There's ice cream probably. I don't know what the fuck your family does. Anyways, that's how you're going to do it. And then once dessert rolls around, same thing. Get your non-negotiables, man. Grandma Betty, her sweet potato pie sucks ass. Don't get a fucking slice of that. Right? If you want multiple things, get small slices. Get like a half a slice. Maybe you share with some people. It's crazy. I know. You can share things. I know it sucks to share with your siblings, but maybe you and your siblings split a piece of pie. So you can have two different types of pies. Instead of having two pies, two slices, you have one pie, one slice, because you split it. And these are all just different ways that you can essentially make yourself feel more full and limit the amount of calories that you're having and still enjoy yourself, right? Because you're still eating the pie. You're still, let them eat cake. You're still eating the cake. You're still eating the pie. You're still eating everything that you want. You're just doing it in smaller portions. You're doing it in a way that's not going to completely fuck up your goals. And that's what we're trying to do here, is still enjoy ourselves, but be mindful of it. Indulge, but don't overindulge. This is always what I say. And that's just part of life. Everything's about balance. You don't want to just go completely off the rails. And then again, with the psychological part, be okay and know that you're going to gain some weight from this. It's going to mostly be water. It's going to be glycogen. It's going to be food waste. And yes, it's going to be a little bit of fat, but that is okay. That is the deal that you're making with yourself. And you have to be okay with that. You need to know not to freak out that first day or two, because you might be holding on to some waste. You might be holding on to some glycogen for a little bit longer. So those are my strategies. Oh, the other one is fucking walk. Get some goddamn steps in before this meal happens. Bump your steps up normally. Whatever your steps normally are, bump them like 500 or 5,000, sorry. Because every 5,000 steps is like 250 calories. It's not a lot, but it's a little. It's anything helps at this point. So bump up your activity a little bit. If you can, bump it up 10,000 steps, because that's going to be an extra 500 calories that you burn. Anything helps. But I hope that this kind of helps you out a little bit. If you guys want to know, I followed some of these last night for sure. I was definitely not at golden, and I gained 4 pounds from this. Like this morning I weighed in, I was 4 pounds heavier. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, because I know that I'm just going to go right back to it. And that's the other thing. Don't punish yourself for enjoying yourself, right? Just hop straight back onto the plan. You don't need to decrease your calories more. You don't need to increase the cardio more. Just go right back on plan, and you're going to lose the weight real fast. That's all I got for today. Avoid the holiday buckets. Let me know, drop in the comments what your favorite Thanksgiving/Christmas food is. Mine is Man, it's either green bean casserole or buttermilk pie. Actually, yeah, what's your favorite food, like Thanksgiving food, and then what's your favorite Thanksgiving dessert? Because that's mine. Green bean casserole, buttermilk pie. If you've never had buttermilk pie, fucking try it. It is amazing. Pecan is like number 2 for me. Anyways, peace out. Have great holidays. I love y'all.